Hi, it's Chris with Implied Music. If you've been following this channel, you know I partner with Audio Brewers. I've done reviews of a couple of their instruments. I love their piano. The Ashe is a terrific drum library. They've got a new sample library out called This Is Not a Piano. And I'll tell you, it's not a piano. So what's not a piano? Well, everything that's not a piano is not a piano, but what's made this sample library interesting is the process of sampling and the collection of tools that are built into the Kontakt library. Take a look at this picture, you'll see what I mean. There are 5 or 6 speakers and dozens of microphones set up around this instrument. And the sample library is a collection of resonances as a result of sending tones into the body of the piano. The piano is vibrating sympathetically to the initial impulse of the sounds. And those sounds were especially curated for this library, and they're harmonically rich, so you get a fascinating kind of result. Well, how does all this sound? Let's take a look at it. Well, it's mighty fun to load an Audio Brewers instrument. Watch the little animation. All of the Audio Brewers instruments share a similar interface. The instrument itself loads with the possibility of a bunch of articulations. You see there over on the left. And just right away, we've got loaded into memory, and that's what these little check marks are for, a simple sound that has the sound of the keys being played and what they call the gentle articulation. I'll just play a couple of chords with that. Now, honestly, it sounds a little bit like some sort of piano, doesn't it? What's this column to the right? First of all, I'm just going to unload the sound of the keys. I feel like I don't need it most of the time. These sort of columns here are different sets of samples. In this particular library, This Is Not a Piano, 1 and 2 are identical. They are just like the sort of sound of the note, so to speak. 3 and 4 are identical. They are the sound of just the resonance of the note. 5 is the resonance with the pedal down. So if you want to play, what they say is that if you want to play something that's playing it like a piano, you need the sound of the note, in other words, 1, and the sound of the pedal going down or up, the resonance when the pedal's down or up, in other words, 5. Each of these articulations can be turned off or on. If I turn off number 1 here, I'm going to destack this and hear just the gentle sound. With the pedal up, if I play, I get no sound, but here I'm going to swell in the resonance with the pedal. Over here on 3 and 4, just the resonance. And if I want the attack to be slower, so you're probably already realizing that we can create pad sounds with this instrument. So we'll make a longer release. The resonance itself is a rich sound, right? And this would be true for every one of these articulations. I'm going to leave them loaded, and let's move on to the layers, because we need to look at the way, this is a standard part of the Audio Brewers engine, and we need to look at how this is working. So each of these layers, that's what these things are, 1 through 5 over here, have a volume slider and the possibility of applying effects. There's a stack of 5 effects in each layer, a volume slider, and a panning slider. Right now, with gentle loaded, I have audio going through 3 and 5. Let's do something like this. I'm going to turn off 5, and I'm going to just turn on 3 and 4. Now, those are both resonance layers. They're identical. However, they don't have to be identical. So if I play a single note or a chord, let's play a chord, you'll see audio on 3 and 4 over here, and you can see that the effects, pass filters, EQ, and reverb are identical for both. Here's my effects tab, and there they are. Now, I could add an effect down here, and there are some beauties, and they're the ones that are built into Kontakt. Let's add some, delay, something like that. We'll add a modern delay, and up the feedback. And I'm going to turn on the sequencer and apply the steps of the sequencer to the rate. This is going to be wacky. Well, I just had to up my buffer size because the modern delay is pretty processor intensive. I love, however, the effect that I'm getting here. I'm getting the solid sound, unaffected on one side, and then a beautifully sort of pitch bent, sequenced sound on the other. Oh, it's gorgeous, right? Let's add the attack back in. Just a little attack, and I'll vary the volume. And suddenly I've got a sound that, man, I am fully ready to create a piece of music with. So strange and beautiful. This is where the Audio Brewers engine and the harmonically rich resources of this instrument really start to shine. And it's what got me very excited about it when I was programming it. So look at the modulation page. Obviously, attack, decay, sustain, and release, but this gate is a blast, right? Right now, the intensity is set to 0, but if I turn it up, I get a little pulse. Now that is fun, right? And it's affecting every layer. Here I am, I'm playing octaved. All right, now over here, let's turn the gate off for everything except channel 5. Now what the modulation is going to do is introduce the gate effect only when I depress the pedal. Nice, right? Over here, there's a pitch effect. Let's do the same thing. It will introduce the pitch effect only when I depress the pedal. Let's do something like a fifth up. Programming this thing is so much fun. And, we've got all the effects that are available to us in Kontakt. So just taking a look at the list, signal distortion and dynamics processors, including transient processing, is terrific. Some very good reverbs, as you know. And the filters. This is a powerful instrument that, in just 10 minutes or so, I'm going to try to edit this down to 10 minutes. I've been talking for about 20. In just 10 minutes or so, I really sort of can't show you everything about it. I guess I would say that one of my favorite questions as a composer is, what if? And Audio Brewers, This Is Not a Piano, takes that question and kind of at least answers one possibility. They've done something I've never really heard before. There used to be a reverb from PSP called Piano Verb that I don't know how it did it, but it did the same kind of thing. It was like shouting into a piano or playing into a piano. You'd hear the strings resonate. This is so much more than that. Plus, you've got the addition of the modulation and the layers and the control of effects within each individual layer. All these articulations, the possibility to stack them. You can drive this instrument over the cliff. The possibility of driving an instrument over the cliff is what makes it a great instrument. So get under the hood with this. It's listen to the demos at Audio Brewer's website. They have some on YouTube. It'll give you some sense of the possibilities. And I think it's on sale right now at like $49. It feels to me like a great value for a maybe unique, it's not for everyone, but nevertheless super valuable instrument. Well, I hope this has been useful. Like and subscribe. I don't very often do reviews, but if I review something, you know I'm behind it, guys. You know I'm behind it. I'll see you next time.